Hi everyone, this is the second Create With Me video. We're doing the mermaid tail rice bag because as we know, as we're stuck in the house or just, hey, might sometimes need it. What it is I find it's really good for aches and pains, especially if you have a headache. It can also be put in the freezer as well as the microwave. So it's versatile, double use. So I made this one earlier to show you what the finished product looks like because of course I don't have a tripod for you guys to actually see me create it, but I'm going to give you the gist of it and offer you the pattern. So basically this is the mermaid tail. So what's this is the mermaid tail rice bag. And we made this out of some really cool kind of like dark bluish rose fabric that I had. So you see two little tail fins down there. So yeah, that's what is all in there. And it's not completely filled, so it kind of gives you the ability to kind of shape it and mold it to wherever you need it. And the thing is, the great thing is with this having the two tail pieces, this can be like on your belly and it can go over your waist, or it can actually mold to certain parts of your body. I find it's best for my back of your neck, your lower back, on your belly, especially for ladies during your monthly time. So to kind of show you, that's the concept of what I'm going to be showing you guys how to make. But I also wanted to show you this. So this is what I made a couple years ago. And this is all hand stitched as well. And don't get me wrong, you can definitely use a sewing machine if you have one, if that's better for you. But this one's kind of in the shape of a, here we go, you can see better. It's in the shape of a shield. So this one is made with some thicker fabric and it's full of rice. But what I wanted to do is just to explain a little bit about what I did. So I created myself a pattern. And this is on cardstock, so I can actually make this basic pattern available for anybody that wants it. Just leave a comment saying me and I'll reach out and we can exchange emails and I can give you my pattern for free. So I don't know how well you guys can see that, but it's a basic mermaid tail. Yeah, so it's basic mermaid tail. So then basically you would draw this onto your fabric. This is a little bit smaller than the one that I have currently made. But then this will be a big enough bag to be able to still do a lot of the same things that you're already doing, or unless you want to draw out your own. You can make it bigger, smaller, however you want to do it. So basically the way I did this was first what we did was I took my pattern and then I cut out my fabric. So these are two pieces and they are all stick pinned together so your two pieces don't flop open. So your two right pieces, as you can see here, are on the inside and this is the back of the fabric. So as you can see here, it's all stick pinned together. And what I did with the other one is, even though it's dark blue, I actually used black fabric or black thread, and it's the Gutermann thread, the 100 mils to 110 yards, 100% polyester. I find it's a thicker thread, so it actually will work really well for keeping things like this together when it's hand stitched, because the stronger the thread, the stronger the hold, I find. And the needle size that I am using is just a basic needle. So I don't know if you can really tell a size comparison here, but see, the hole is not very big. But the thread, I would say, is a cross between like a dollar store thread and the thickness you would get from embroidery floss, is how I can best describe it. So when I'm going around and I am sewing this, and when I'm hand sewing it, first what I do is I take the amount of thread that I want. This is just basic. You probably need definitely more than this. And I just kind of do a thumb knot at the end of my thread, just like that. And what you're going to do is you are literally going to sew around the entire outside. and continue. And so the stitch that I'm actually using, and I don't know how well you'll see this either, but it's just literally, it's a single straight stitch. So it's literally in and out, back and forth. So whatever you see here, it's the opposite on the other side. There's nothing major about it. It's literally one of the most basic stitches that you can get. So once you're sitting here hand stitching this, what you're gonna do is that once you get it far away, and like I said, I already have one made. So one thing I will also let you know would be a really good thing to have. I'm just doing a basic few stitches here so you can see what I'm talking about, or hopefully see what I'm talking about. The camera on the computer is not that great. But what you're gonna do is that once you get a few stitches, like I said, you're going to keep on going. Note to self, when you get to places that are like a sharp corner, I'll show you what I mean. So places that are like right in the center part, right here, I usually do a couple extra stitches than just a single straight stitch. So then that way it kind of helps hold up this is a tighter fit. And when you get to places in the smaller part of the tail, so like where it starts to curve up, I do a couple extra stitches here. So you're going to keep on going with the straight stitches. So I have a few here now. I don't know how well you can see them because my thread is black and the fabric is blue. But you're going to keep doing this until you're all the way around. So what I did with the other one is that I sewed the entire thing until I only left about this much open. When I left this much open, I turned it right side in, so then that way all the seams were on the inside, and I folded it all out. And then I got a funnel, and I actually went to the dollar store. Now, if anyone actually watches me from the States, I think that's Dollar Tree, or some kind of dollar store like that. But all I did was I went to our local Dollarama, and I paid $2.50, and I bought this bag of rice. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that funnel, and with the open spot that you left, you're going to pour in, I would say, about literally 3/4 of the bag until you only have probably about this much left in the bottom of the bag is a perfect amount. That's how much went into the completely done one. And what you're going to do is, once that's all done, because everything around it is sewn, when it comes to actually sewing that little part off, you can actually just completely whip stitch all around. Or what I do is I actually shove the rest of what seams are there inside, and it'll actually fit in there right nice, almost like you hem the seam. And then you're going to just continue to straight stitch those right straight across. So I don't have that done here, but I do have that done here, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it again because, like I said, my camera's not that great. So I will show you the best I can. So I don't know how you can see that, but it's all straight stitched. Oh, I can't even see that at all. So that's all straight stitched again there. But there's the other side. So this side you can see was already sewed and folded in. And this side was straight stitched after I put the rice inside. So once that is done and you get everything in there and you get your rice bag done, what you're then going to do is that once that's all settled, there's one of two things that you're going to do. Is one thing you're going to keep in mind that if you're going to put it in the freezer, I would say the best time to keep it in there so it's not too overly cold on your skin, but it's going to give you the cold heat that you need. At the most, I would say leave it in there for about an hour and a half. That's what's been works for me. But with it being in the microwave, what you're going to do is you're going to heat it between temperatures of 1 to 2.5 minutes, depending on your heat or how much dry heat you want. Me, it depends. Usually it depends on if it's on my back. My back's a little bit more sensitive, so I usually go with about 1 minute, 1 minute and 10. If it's like on my belly or my lower back, I usually go with like 2 minutes. One of the other really cool, great things this is for too is that especially if your feet get really cold in the winter, like if you're outside or even just outside in general now, where the weather's still kind of temperamental on what it wants to do. If you go out, your feet are cold, you can heat this up in the microwave and stick it underneath your blankets and actually just stick your feet onto it. It'll make it like a really nice warm sensation coming through your feet and be very relaxing as well. So like I said, I made these, like I had said with the shield one, I had made it over a couple years ago, and even being hand stitched, it continues to hold up and I continue to use it now. There's something that can actually last quite a long time. They're a great little thing to have. Unfortunately, they're not exactly as useful when you go camping. But when you're in the home and you have power, these are one of those really great things that's really inexpensive to make, especially if you have most of the stuff around your house already. So with me, I had boxes and boxes of fabric, so it didn't cost me anything to go and buy the fabric or the sewing needles or the thread. I already had it. The only thing it really costed me was for the rice, which was $2.50. And the way I look at it is $2.50 is a really good price to pay for something like this that can last you years and you can have multiple uses for. So I think that's a really good bang for your buck. So with that note, like I said earlier on, if you want the pattern or just even draw up a basic pattern yourself, I have no problem passing on the one I used and giving the dimensions of how big of a piece of fabric that I used. If this is of any interest to you, try it out yourself, or even if you want to reach out to me and see if I'll make one for you. I'm usually pretty flexible like that. If so, just leave a comment below or subscribe to my channel, and then that way I can let me know that you guys are watching. Also, next week's Create With Me is actually going to be a wall decor. No, I don't mean some funny chart that's above my head. I mean an actual piece of canvas work that you can actually put on your wall, and it can be classified as art. But thanks, guys, for your continued support. Talk to you later.